When you think about a narcissist, very often you think of someone who's well off, someone who has lots of stuff to show off, or who's especially beautiful, or somehow really talented or smart or something, right? You think about someone who has something to show off. Well, today at queenbeing.com, we're going to talk about a different kind of narcissist. The kind who's sort of a parasite, who sort of has nothing of their own, nothing to offer the world, and yet looks down their nose at everyone and acts like they're better than them. And in the meantime, who expects you to support them and take care of them and do all the things that a good supply would do. This video is in response to a question asked by one of our Spanily members named Jeffrey. So let's get started. Closed captioning provided by Athena Moberg and CPTSDFoundation.org. I'm Angie Atkinson, and this is Toxic Relationship Rehab, where I help you discover, understand, and overcome toxic relationships in your life. So if you want to take back your life, embrace your power, and become the best possible version of yourself, hit that subscribe button, stick with me, and let's get going. A few weeks ago, I asked the Spanily if they had questions or things they'd want me to talk about in videos. And one of the questions really caught my eye. It comes from Jeffrey Spalding, who says, I definitely have a question. Have you ever heard of a narcissist who doesn't have a life of luxury? One who doesn't have nice things to show off and a reason to act better than others. Whole house is disgusting, but puts down others for something similar, like they don't live the way they do. A narcissist who has nothing of value. I ask because almost every story I've heard, someone talks about a narcissist having all of these great possessions or being well off financially. My ex was none of those things, not even close. I know he's more covert, but some things still seem off, and it makes me wonder if it's more than just narcissism. So let's talk about it. Narcissists in general, while they'll never say it out loud, are very dependent on other people in a lot of ways. They need people for supply. They need people for emotional survival even. And in many cases, narcissists can't be alone at all. They would be completely miserable if they were living a life of a loner, so to speak. Now, we've talked before about how narcissists use money to control us. They might keep their hand tight on the purse strings in the house. They might force you to not work so that they can control you even more. Or in some cases, and this is what we're talking about today, there are those narcissists who have nothing, no goals, no dreams, no job even in some cases, or they work a minimum job, just enough to get by. And then they expect you to take care of them. This can be a male narcissist or a female narcissist.
It's important to note here that in general, this quality isn't just a narcissistic quality, because we do have a portion of our society who seems to not want to work at all. With that being said, some narcissists seem to want to find someone to support them financially or otherwise. In this case, we're talking about the type of narcissist you might want to call a parasite. As far as work where they would earn a paycheck, well, it's limited if it happens at all, and they are famous for job hopping. In fact, some people joke that it should be listed as one of their many areas of expertise. These narcissists tend to become bored with any type of job or any type of person, friendship, relationship, anything. They don't really even know how to hold on for very long. They don't seem to think they have to work. If they can't get a job with a title and a big salary, which of course they're not willing to work for, well then they generally don't want to work.
And they will in many cases end up controlling your money, end up controlling your life. You might even find yourself financially strapped when you work a good job and make good money, because the narcissist has all these needs and desires and wants. They might financially break you.
Some narcissists just won't work at all. Whether they're capable or not is irrelevant here. They just feel entitled to someone else's money. Some can't be employed because they've built their entire lives on a lie. They keep this hidden, of course, so they can extract money from other people. But if you look at their histories, their relationships, their work histories, you will see a pattern. Many will feel like other people have let them down, as in not giving them enough praise or recognition or attention, or they've suffered some kind of narcissistic injury, and this makes them think that their coworkers and or bosses are, just trash, and in response they might act out and cause chaos, and then they need to move on. They may, like I said, either job hop or just choose to mooch off of their victim. In this case, you might have found yourself having to write bad checks or commit financial fraud just to stay above water. Or maybe your abuser ran up large debts in your name and you have no say-so about it. You might not even be aware of it at first. In many cases, the narcissist will refuse to work and force you to support them. And in some of those cases, they don't even make it easy for you to work by taking care of the kids or other household responsibilities. You might be paying for daycare while your narcissist sits at home and does nothing.
Many narcissists will ruin your credit for you. And in some ways, this keeps you stuck to them because what can you do without credit or cash flow?
Maybe you've been forced to skip paying bills in order to indulge some desire of the narcissist. Maybe the narcissist has even gone so far as to steal your identity, your property, or your inheritance.
Some narcissists, like my ex-husband, will put all of their bills in your name and run the bills up and walk away from them. This literally happened to me when I left my ex-husband. I sat down with him and I showed him how to pay the bills. We switched all the bills over into his name, and then he ran those up and got everything turned off. Well, then he called back to the utility companies and said that I had come back and he needed to put the bills back in my name. For some reason, the utility companies did this, and then several months later, when I went to buy a house for myself and my child, well, I had to pay off all these bills that the narcissist left for me because, of course, he ran them up and didn't pay them. Some narcissists will max out your credit cards without letting you know, and you find out the hard way.
Perhaps you've been forced to give up any public benefits you had, or you've been accused of cheating the system because of the narcissist. Maybe you've been struggling financially and your ex, or soon-to-be ex, just won't pay child support.
Narcissists have been known to claim other people's children on their taxes with no remorse just to get extra money on the tax refund. Ironically enough, they'll shame you for actually spending your own money, and in some cases, they'll even prevent you from going to work and cause you to lose a job in order to control you further. But these narcissists who move into your house and cause all the trouble for you and take everything you've got, well, I like to call them hobosexual. As in, they want a place to live, and so they suddenly fall in love. Sound familiar?
As the saying goes, nobody falls in love faster than a narcissist who needs somewhere to live. Maybe the narcissist tells you that you're not pulling your weight around here. Even if you're working full-time and taking care of the house, the kids, the yard, and everything else, there's still just something you're not getting done to their satisfaction.
There are narcissists who refuse to get jobs, who think they're too good to work, both male and female, and who believe that you owe them something. In fact, the whole world owes them something. These are the same people who will lie to get public aid, or who will falsify children they don't really have, or use other people's children to, as I mentioned earlier, get tax money back or get benefits from the government or to get something from you. These are the people who think the world owes them something. And as you can see, when you look at how they're living and who they are, they don't really have any reason to be owed anything. Their sense of entitlement is completely overblown, and it really can cause a lot of stress and drama in your life. So do you think it's possible that you're in a relationship acting as a host for one of these parasitic narcissists? And if so, how can you tell? Well, I'm going to share with you some signs that you might be in a relationship with a parasitic narcissist. Number one, they have a terribly inflated sense of entitlement. And they think that everything that they have is theirs and everything that you have is theirs. And they dare you to question that. Number two, they are always accusing you of things that they have done, and they have absolutely no interest in you as an individual person. God forbid you try to talk about yourself once in a while. You know what I'm saying? Number three, they attack if they feel like you've snubbed them or minimized them in any way, shape, or form. Number four, you feel like they're always attacking you and you are always having to play defense with this person. Number five, they want every second of your time, whether you have time for it or not. And on the flip side of that, they want you to be okay with them leaving and doing whatever they want, whenever they want. Number six, they act really, really angry, or they punish you if you have an opinion that is different than theirs. They attack you. Number seven, they never apologize and they never take responsibility for their own behavior. And they don't care how painful and hurtful it is. They refuse to take responsibility. Somehow it's always your fault. Number eight, you're always trying to smooth things over with them, trying to make them okay, trying to baby them a little bit even in order to avoid their negative energy and attacks. Number 9, you feel really scared to express yourself and your opinions, especially if those opinions aren't exactly what the narcissist believes to be true. Number 10, you feel completely isolated in this relationship and very alone. Number 10, you are physically tense all the time, and emotionally you feel like you're always on the lookout for the next big drama from the narcissist. Does any of that sound familiar to you? If so, that person living in your house and using up all your resources, they might be a narcissist, and maybe it's time for you to think about moving on. What are your thoughts? This brings me to the question of the day. And the question of the day is, do you know a parasitic narcissist? And if so, what were they like and how did they treat you? Share your thoughts, share your experiences, share your ideas in the comment section below, and let's talk about it. I'm going to share a playlist for you right there. And on that playlist, you are going to find videos that will help you learn how to increase your own peace and your own self-confidence so that you can take your life to the next level. Take a look at it when you get a minute. Now, before I go, I want to make sure to give a shout out to my amazing channel members, those people who choose to support me through the YouTube membership program. Thank you so much for your support. It really does mean the world to me because you're helping me to further grow my mission to help narcissistic abuse survivors discover, understand, and overcome narcissistic abuse in toxic relationships. You'll see their names scrolling right there. And to everyone who likes my videos, subscribes to my channel, shares my videos, and comments on my videos, thank you so much. Every action you take toward one of my videos helps me to spread my message just a little bit further and help more people. I genuinely appreciate you. Thank you so much. Now, before I go, make sure you take a look at the videos I'm leaving for you right there and right there. And while you're here, hit that subscribe button so we can stay connected and continue on this healing journey together. I'll see you soon.